Progress.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our core stability and posture class. We're going to go ahead and start with some of the lighter movements from the standing position and then transition to the chair and then down to the floor. A lot of the stuff that we'll be doing today is on the floor. So, but yeah, we'll start with the easier stuff standing. So first, let's go ahead and begin by just having our hands about 2 inches in front of our chest. We don't want them up here, we want them just here, and then just slide them up and down. And you'll see that as my hands are coming up, my elbows are going forward too, and as I'm tucking them in, my elbows almost go behind my back. Okay? It's just going to give us a little bit more of a stretch for our back muscles, a little bit more range of motion on our shoulders. Okay, very good. Now I want you to do the same motion, but now your palms are facing towards you, in front of you, and now we're going here. So that should stretch out more of like the middle part of your back. Okay, so we're here. Again, we want to do this with our back straight. We don't want to be slouching here and doing this. We're going to back straight. Very good. Our arms, elbows will get a little bit tired, so we'll relax there. Let's go ahead and do a gentle trunk rotation. So shoulder width apart and just turn left to right. Gentle trunk rotation here. Kind of waking up our core a little bit. Okay, we're going to reach up towards the ceiling. Again, emphasis on keeping your torso upright. You don't want to be slouching. So we're here. And let's lean right. Let's go left. Alright, and then let's go ahead and do some body weight good morning. So hinging at the hips, slide in at the knees. We're just going to lean forward. Keeping your back straight and come back up. Okay, so right here, just body weight, good mornings, keeping your back straight, back up. We're gonna do 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right. Very good. Right. Just go ahead and stretch out your hips a little bit. Let's do some big hula hoops. Some big giant hip circles. Go ahead and switch. Switch. Again, just exaggerate the hip circles as big as you can. Alright, very good. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of oblique crunches. So we're going to get in this prisoner stance. which just means our hands behind our head. And we're gonna go ahead and aim to bring our elbow or our shoulders towards our crease here at our hip joint, okay? So we're gonna go pretty much do this motion here, okay? We're gonna span and do 15 on each side. So it's not for speed, it's for range of motion, so, and a little bit of balance here. So let's go ahead and begin. So dive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. Remember, it's more shoulders towards the hip. Don't think about your neck just turning, okay? Think about more of your shoulder. And last one. Good. All right, just relax a little bit. All right, left side. So again, prisoner, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. Alright. So it's going to be a little bit of cardio, hamstring work, but also posture. So there's a lot of posture. We're going to go hands to opposite toes, okay? So the only difference from this one from our cardio ones, the cardio ones, we really want to go fast. This one I care more about keeping your back straight and then just doing it correctly, okay? So you don't have to do it as fast for this one. All right, we're gonna go for 40 seconds. Ready, and begin. So again, just keeping your back straight. Because once you start slouching, there goes our posture, so keep that back straight. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, very good. Alright, let's go ahead and go to our chair. So grab a chair. Like I said, most of the work in this class, it's done up against the wall or on the floor. So, and of course, grab some water. Okay. Alright, so in posture and do shoulder press, so thumbs at your side here, and then we're just going to press up and down. Down, just keep it consistent. Ms. Noor, did you have any trips this summer? Any vacations? 3 more?
El lunes salimos por una semana ya para el norte de California.
Good job. Where about? Let's do trunk rotation. Grab the seat and the backrest. And rotate.
Vamos a ir allá al Tajo, todo eso.
Nice. I'll be there next month. No, I'll be in Mammoth. Yeah, Lake Tahoe is really pretty.
Okay.
So again, rotate a little bit more. Just take a deeper breath. Rotate. Alright, let's switch.
¿Qué hay que hacer en el carro, Julio?
What was that?
¿Qué hay que hacer en el carro?
Oh, Lake Tahoe? Let's go ahead and grab the seat. So, cuando yo fui la vez pasada, fuimos a caminar y correr mucho en los trails, en los caminos que hay por los bosques. También el lago, ir a la playa, que es el lago. En la parte sur de Lake Tahoe hay un lugar que se llama Emerald Bay. Está bien bonito ahí. Sé que hay un casino en South Lake o en el lado de Nevada también. Pero sí, es de... Okay, and then we're just going to do a performance stretch here. Let's go ahead, right ankle on that left knee. Es de andar afuera, caminando, conociendo el lago, los bosques, pero no creo que es lugar de ir a estar encerrado en un hotel, algo así, o en una cabaña. Si uno quiere relajar, sí, pero es de salir a caminar, pero ¿saben a dónde especialmente se van a quedar? Específicamente.
No.
Let's switch.
No, pensábamos pasar por aquí. Just go to, no sé.
No sé. Alright, we're going to go ahead, rotate the chair. We're going to do our shoulder circles. Okay, so here, arms are flat. Remember, this one's not going to work if you're slouching, so make sure, try to keep your torso engaged. Upright, shoulders up, forward, down, and back. Keep it going. Alright, now in reverse. Up, back, down, forward. Very good. Alright, let's go ahead, do our cat scratching pose. So this is where we're sitting towards the front of the chair. We're going to reach up, keeping our back straight. Separate your legs here. Reach up, scratch all the way down, and come back. Alright, repeat. Here. Come back. You can follow through. 2. 3, 4, 5, 3 more, 6, and 7. Alright, let's hit up your yoga mat. We're going to transition to the floor. Well, for some, we'll come back. If you can't be near a wall, if you can set up your yoga mat close to a wall, that'd be even better. Okay, because then we could use a wall for some movements. So, we're going to start off with some slow motion dead bugs. So I'm going to just shift the camera downwards because we're going to be on the floor for a minute. Okay, so slow motion dead bugs. We're here. So remember, hands up, legs up. Right arm, left leg go back and forth. But these are going to be a little bit slower, so more like this. And coming back a little slower, okay? So let's go ahead and spend 1 minute doing these, but really slow it down. 3, 2, 1, and go. So really slow. Left leg, right arm. Come back slowly. Repeat. Come back. Take your time with these. Your core's under tension, the slower you move. If you do these faster, they get easier, so try and go slower. Twenty more seconds. Keep it going. 3, 2, 1, and time. Very good. Whew. Rest. Okay, so our next one is gonna be a regular plank. Okay, so if you need support, always you could use your knees, but you're gonna get the most out of it if you're just on your toes and on your elbows, okay? If your elbows becomes too much, you could use your hands. So you could just hold this, but with your elbows, you'd be here, okay? All right, this is gonna be for 50 seconds if we can. 3, 2, 1, up. Twenty more seconds. 15. 3, 2, 1, time. Down. Alright, next we are on our back. We're doing a hollow body hold, okay? So this is like a reverse Superman. So this is where here, arms are up, shoulders are off the ground, your head should be a little bit elevated off the ground, and your heels are up, okay? So we're gonna be, it looks like this. Okay, if you have to, you could just put one foot down and then switch every like 5 seconds or so. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and up. Keep going. Oof, this one's tough. 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Woo. Alrighty, getting there. Alright, we have our isometric bear crawl. So if you remember doing the quadruped position right here, looking down, the only difference is from here, I want you to elevate your knees. So you just lift your knees, okay? Right, and that's all, and we're just gonna hold there for that duration. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and up. So your hands and your feet are supporting you, and your knees should be about an inch off the ground. 20 more seconds. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. Woo. Alright, and then again for posture, this one's gonna be donkey kicks. Okay, so we're doing 8 donkey kicks on each side. So head down, quadruped position, and give me 8 donkey kicks. So bring your heel all the way up and down. Up, down. Four, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm gonna switch. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Alright, take a 2 minutes rest. Grab some water. Regroup. I'm gonna move on right now to our next set. Alright, so we have side planks on each side. We have Pallof press. We're here. That one's not too bad. Then we have bird dog high plank. So again, we're here. We're gonna alternate going up, straighten out, and then come back. We're gonna do 8 on each side. And then after that, we're doing threading the needle. So quite a bit of side planks on this next one, okay? Alright, we'll start in about 30 seconds. Hi, Doris. Start in 30 seconds. Make sure you're hydrating. Pretty warm today. I think it's already 79 degrees. Alright, here we go. So side plank. We're going to do 30 to 40 seconds on each side. 3, 2, 1, up, hips up, Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna switch. Other side. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Up. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. On your knees, we're going to do our Pallof press. So we're just kneeling here. Hands are pressing against each other, pushing forward and then pushing back as you're still maintaining pressure within your hands. Okay? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So press, press, press. Come back. Continue. Keep it going. 20 more seconds. Just press your hands against each other. Come forward. Come back. time. Very good. Alright, we have our bird dog. Okay, so we're gonna do 8 slowly on each side. Okay, so we're here looking down. Pretty much like a dead bug, but now we're on our 4s. Okay, so we're gonna extend and then come back. You could tap your knee with your hand and extend again and repeat. Okay, we're doing 8. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2. Might work a little better if you bring your elbow to your knee. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, come upright. Relax your arm for a little bit. We're going to do 8 on the other side. Okay? Get down. Ready? Extend. 3, 2, 1, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Alright, we're going to thread the needle. Okay, so there's this one. If you remember, you're in a knee plank in your elbow, so you're lifted here, hands up, and you're going to go through this space here. Okay, so you're going to come through, turn your torso, and then come back and rotate, and do that for 8 times on each side. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch sides. Good job, folks. Keep going. Ready? So come up and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Whew. All right. Okay. So now we're going to be still on the floor. We're going to start off with Superman holds. So prone position, belly down. We're going to just hold, shoulders up, chest up, legs up. Then we're going to do glute bridges. Works out our back, hamstrings, and our glutes. Then we have swimmer arcs. So opposite hand to opposite arm to opposite leg. So you just come up, reset, and again switch. We're alternating that. And then we have reverse planks. Okay? So that's going to be our next one. I'm going to turn on this side just because those yoga mats are falling apart. So arms get really dirty with those. Alright, so this one's just 4. We do have, I think, a couple more after this, right? So ready? Superman hold. Chest up, knees up. 3, 2, 1, and up. Chest up. 30 more seconds. Fifteen seconds. Three, two, one, time. All right. On our backs, we have our glute bridges. Remember this one? Arms to our side, hips come up, squeeze the glutes, and then come back down. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go. We're gonna go for 12. Squeeze, down, up, squeeze, down, 2, up, squeeze, down, 3, up, squeeze, down, 4, up, squeeze, down, 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 2 more, up, squeeze, down, last one, up, squeeze, and down. Alrighty, getting there. Alright, we have our swimmer arcs. So remember, these are similar to Superman's that were belly down, but now we just raise one arm and the opposite leg, and then we alternate, okay? We're doing a total of 16, so 8 on each side. Ready? Your head could be resting downward. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep on going. Don't stop breathing. Lift that hand as high as you can, and your heel too. Get that knee off the floor. Got 3 more. Last one. Oh, very good. Good work. All right, and then reverse plank. If you recall this one, we're sitting down here on the floor with our legs stretched out. And what we want to do is lift our hips off the ground and come up here, okay? So as long as your hips are off the ground, it's working the shoulders, the arms, torso. 3, 2, 1, and up. Got 20 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Alright, and lastly, what we're gonna do is just go up against the wall and do some wall glides, okay? So, just get me a clear wall. So I'm gonna use the wall behind me. It's not the best wall just because it has, you know, it has some different types of, it's not consistent, to say the least. Almost there though. Let's adjust that. So we're gonna do our Ys, elbows in, Y out, and then we're gonna do another one where we're just gonna try to keep our hips up aligned, okay? So I want you to up against the wall and keep that high knee or hip opener using the wall, okay? So let's do 10 W's to Y. So we're here, lean back, and then let's go Y, and then back. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down. Now I want you to turn, your feet are facing straight, but now I want you to turn your right foot out. So now it's facing parallel to the wall. I'm going to keep my hand on the wall and I'm going to bring my leg up and down. Okay? So it's just going to demand a little bit more from your glutes and your hip joint from this starting position. Give me about 6 to 8 of these lifts on each leg. That's 6, 7, and 8. Looks really dusty. Alright, I'm going to go ahead. Again, my feet are straight. I'm going to rotate my left foot now. I'm going to use this side of the wall. And again, keeping my leg up against the wall the entire time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Very good. Alright folks, grab a chair, come close by, we'll stretch for a little bit before we go on our way. Good job, good session. Let's go ahead and start with our neck. Sit on that left hand, right hand comes over. How are you feeling? Good? Okay. I see your thumbs up. Let's switch. Carmen, do you have any traveling coming up? Or Doris?
I'm far from the computer. What did you ask?
Oh, if you have any traveling trips coming up.
No, not for this year.
Oh, no?
So
Oh,
far.
okay. Let's go ahead and do our performance stretch. So right ankle on that, left ankle on that right knee, but this time let's push down a little bit. Yeah, you see Jan's in Iceland right now. That's very cool. Let's bring that knee up. I think Jeff should be back with us soon. He's been hiking through the Sierra Nevadas for the last 3 weeks now, almost 4. Right ankle on that left knee. Doing, I don't know if there's any showers out there, but there's definitely a lot of lakes. Let's push down on that right knee. And all that water that those lakes have are from melted snow, so it's pretty cold water. Let's go knee up. Hold that knee. then lastly, we'll just do some hip openers. So sit here, right knee comes out, torso's upright. Add a little bit of pressure here. So yeah, so folks, 2 more weeks of the 6 days a week, and then we have a 2-week break, and then we start back up August 17th. Switch. Alright folks, that should do it for today. Tomorrow we have strength and conditioning and then our stretching class, okay? So tomorrow it's a little bit more intense with the lifting, but a little bit more relaxed overall with like the heart rate. So, but yeah, nonetheless, should be a good workout. So, alright everyone, happy Monday. Drink water, it's hot out there.
Happy Monday.
Alright, take care folks. Thanks
Thank
Carmen.
you.
Bye Doris. Bye Noor. Bye
Adiós,
Josefina.
Julio.
Bye Ramon. Bye folks. Adios.